Andrew Tate is the balding 40-year-old con artist who managed to trick a large group of lonely young boys who have never spoken to a woman into buying his crypto schemes. He owns a Bugatti, so he can't possibly be a con artist. Just like the claw machine has an iPad in it, so it can't possibly be a scam to take your money, right? He has multiple ongoing trials where he's accused of trafficking women, taking their passports, and threatening them with violence if they don't agree to be imprisoned and do sex work for him and his creepy gang of weirdos. And this week he decided that the gang of weirdos would become a political party of weirdos. As The Independent reports, Andrew Tate has set up his own political party. Excuse me, start again. Andrew Tate has set up his own political party as he considers becoming Prime Minister and calling it Bruv, short for Britain Restoring Underlying Values. Jesus Christ. Tate, who lives in Romania, and his party said his party will restore the once Great Britain and resign as party leader if his policies haven't been enacted within 45 days. In the unlikely event he even rises to power, given he'll need at least 326 MPs. In a thread detailing his key policies, Tate shared graphics which explained Bruv will have the British Royal Navy patrol British waters, a new TV channel called BBC Punishment, which will be a 24/7 live broadcast of knife crime offenders serving solitary confinement, and ban LGBTQ propaganda, quote unquote, from schools. He wants to cut all foreign aid, including all our military assistance to Ukraine, have weekly referendums on important issues using blockchain technology, an alternative to Elon's Doge. He wants an alternative to Elon's Doge for the UK that he's calling Daddy, or the Department of Assistance and Development of Domestic Youth, which you're really having to stretch the acronym there to make it work. Like that's a real stretch. Like he also says that he wants to run for prime minister and become PM within 45 days, which even if he's eligible, he couldn't do because we're not due to have another election for 5 years. Like, what is the point of this Bruv party? And before you say it, no, I am sure that this isn't a desperate attempt by an aging domestic abuser and human trafficking perpetrator to keep him and his freaky friends relevant so that they can scam enough people to pay their legal fees. I wouldn't want to suggest that, of course. So, Aidan, when will we be going out canvassing for the Bruv party together? Should we start printing some leaflets now, or what are you thinking?
I think we absolutely have to begin now. We need him in power ASAP. This man is going to revolutionize Britain. No, I think it's just I mean, I don't even know the legal issues with him being in charge. I don't know if he can run for anything because of all of the legal problems he's got and all of the tax he hasn't paid in this country, and the fact that he's based in Romania and is under remand for crimes he's committed there. So it's such an obvious ploy to try and drum up attention because clearly he was waning. Because funnily enough, he's obviously still a name you know, but he's definitely not at the peak of his powers that he was maybe a year or so ago. No one talks about him anymore. So he's clearly had a little hissy fit and has gone, I need people to talk about me. What's something they can do? The Bruv party. Bruv, insane. An absolutely insane thing for him to do.
Not the first time he's done things that are just like completely wild, clearly for attention. I mean, he's got a small problem that like the under 12s can't vote. So that's like most of his base like out the window straight away, like just straight away. Most of his base can't vote, so yeah, I think that that's a small hurdle I can see in the planning. Cutting all foreign aid, I presume that means cutting aid to also cutting aid to Israel. Whoops, which I don't think a lot of his right wing base would be in favor of. But you know, the cutting aid to Ukraine, so I guess they sort of like balance it out. Yeah, I can see so many problems with with what he's suggesting. What do you think of his like 24/7 BBC punishment incarceration thing? That's weird.
Frankly, I'm pro it. No, I think it's just it's clearly he's read one too many George Orwell books because he wants to have that. It's something like it's a prime example similar to Trump. It's easy to talk until you actually get into power. I don't feel like anyone, even your most far right, insane dictatorial man, wants to do that really, because it's. I mean, I don't think he's got the effort to set it up. First of all, and second of all, who watches that? You know, you got how you're paying for that. Viewership figures are going to be nil. So I just think it's baby kicking his toys out the pram in the most abruptive way, and him putting on a TV. It's just he's really talking to the 14-year-olds and the 80-year-olds. You know, those 80-year-olds that every time there's like a video of one of the Queen's guards marching in a straight line and a child doesn't see them, so they stomp on them. They're commenting, "Good, he should have." That's what you get.
Yeah.
It's just a piece of those types of like boomers and 14-year-olds who will grow out of it. You know, it's insane.
Oh my god, the Queen's Guard thing, I relate to that so hard. I'm always
Yeah.
shocked by the comments that are just like, well, they're real soldiers, you know, and it's like, just trample the child. What are you talking about? Yeah, like insane. But and I do think that this is a political party that's made up largely of the kind of, or in terms of policy, it's made up largely of the like shower thoughts. It's like those thoughts that you have in the shower, but they're the shower thoughts of somebody who hasn't reached puberty yet, right? Why don't we just like make it so that anyone who's caught carrying a knife has to like be filmed constantly for the rest of their life? That's monetarily efficient. Like,
that
what?
solves the problem. No one's going to do any more crime. Why don't we just make crime illegal? Why don't we just do that? You know, it's that approach.
Yeah, just make crime illegal. It's fine. What? Oh my god. No, the idea of the Bruv party. The one idea which I'll say I think has some merit to it is the idea of bringing democracy. I don't think it should necessarily be done through the blockchain, because that sounds like they're going to use they're going to use or at least not the blockchain in private hands. I think the blockchain technology in the hands of the state, yeah, sure, go for it, because the state is democratically controlled, right? But blockchain, like, I don't want to have to like do Uber voting, right? I don't want to have to do, you know, in my Uber Eats app, vote whether we should like increase the amount of child tax credit. Like, I don't want to have to be doing that each week. I think that you know, if you're gonna have more democracy, you know, week by week, I'm broadly in favor of that. You'd have to work out how it's going to work with our parliamentary system. Is it just advisory? But also, like, you can't have that done through private hands, because that's just a recipe for absolute disaster. It's like when Elon Musk tried to launch. I was about to say Ted Bundy's campaign. It's not Ted Bundy. Ted Bundy didn't launch a campaign. The guy who was he's governor of Florida. Nope. No, the governor of Florida.
I know the one you mean.
It's Ron DeSantis. That's it. Ron DeSantis. Ron DeSantis's campaign. And it was a disaster. It's clearly we place far too much like faith in the tech bros. Although I would trust any of the tech bros over Andrew Tate. Jesus Christ.
Literally that. At least the tech bros kind of have some semblance of like use in society. I'd argue that even then, but compared to Andrew Tate, they're like Einstein.
Yeah, I mean, Elon Musk fixed his balding problem, whereas Andrew Tate has just kind of carried his on. Like he gave in, like he tapped out to the balding. Like he clearly has enough money for a transplant, so you know,
Nazi pitbull.
Yeah, he did. Nazi pitbull.
Support independent media. Support social justice that's there on social media. Thank you. Turn left.